Hey guys, it's Mongolian Mindset, and today we got Mohammad back with another rounds of his findings with the interaction styles and the functions, and we're going to be debating his findings because he's found logical consistencies, but theory doesn't always, work out. So I'll be debating with him on some of his findings, whatever we see, and we'll be agreeing on things that we agree on. So Mohammad, go ahead and start.
Hey man, hey everyone, how is everyone doing? Um, the last video that we made was about how the functions affect the qualities of a type, how we can see there is a pattern between the qualities that a type has and the functions that it uses. So we started from there in the last video. By the way, I would just like to say I was happy with the comments, with the reactions. It was cool. Did you like him, Mirza?
Yeah, man. I didn't feel as though I could respond to a lot of it, because it was your findings. I'm not trying to get credit
Yeah.
for work, so I let you respond to
I,
those.
I, I was, kind of happy to see people understood what I was saying because I was thinking maybe it would kind of translate bad. It wouldn't go through, but y'all understood what I was saying. So, and agreed to it. So it made me feel good, made me want to come back. Mercer is a gentle host. So here we are. We're going to do this. And let's pick up where we left off, right? So last time we talked about how the functions affect the qualities of the person. For example, let's say TE is direct, NI is direct, based on what we talked about the last time.
Mhm.
Uh, Now, TE and NI are both direct. That means to me that there is something wrong with the idea of direct. Like, why? I was thinking to myself, why would the same quality be in two functions? It was just unpleasant to me. I didn't like the idea of a quality being in two functions.
Mhm.
So I was thinking about like how can that thing that I'm seeing, that T and I are both seen in direct types, how can that be correlated to a truth? So I came to the idea that maybe it's just the combination of, like, when Ni and T are together and the connection between them is strong enough, the quality that is produced, the personality, the kind of personality that is produced out of it is direct.
Mhm.
And after that, I tried to think about the other qualities in this way, and I saw that it happens again and again. If a quality is shared between two functions, those two functions are always compatible. For example, any NFI are both informing and they are compatible. The NFPs are the result of their, what do you call it, adding up conjunction. And kind of after that thought, I kind of, followed through, asked questions and shit. And now here we are. Um, Let me tell you about the qualities of not the functions, but the duos that the functions make. If you want to write them down, you can, by the way. Do you have a pen and paper?
Yeah, I got pain. Always got paper, man.
You're always ready, right?
Hmm? I'm
You're
always,
always ready, right?
yeah, I'm always ready, bro.
That's, so for direct, I got NTJs, sorry, NTJs. For informing, I got NFP. For systematic, I got STJ. For interest, I got SFP. For pragmatic, I got STP. For affiliative, I got SFJ. And also there are two other, another dichotomies there that Linda Burns didn't talk about it. And I can't tell you exactly what the dichotomy is, but I know on one side of it, you got the NTPs and the other side, you got NFJs. I call them NTP for optimistic and NFJ for conservative. But just a little thing that I would like to mention is that I don't know if that's actually true. I just know that there is a quality, there is two qualities to these two types that are opposing to each other. I don't know what it is.
So
But
so
yeah, yeah,
what
yeah.
you're saying here when you said the NTJs are direct, right? Are you saying they're the most direct of all the 16 types? Is that what you're saying? and NFPs is
I
the most
would actually,
common of these type.
I would actually say the MTJs are the type that you can understand what directness is if you look at it. Like they um, are the embodiment of a person who is a slave to being direct.
Okay. Okay. So, and the NFP you saying are like a slave to being informative, right?
Yeah, I just use the word slave as a way to get the meaning around, you know. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't want to go into the, you know, fancy ooga booga words, but yeah, let's go with that. Let's say they are really um, unable to stop this quality. It's like it's the core of their personality. Like, for
Mhm.
example, for me, a little note, by the way, we don't agree on my type. I say I'm
Oh,
an
wait,
STP. He says I'm
you gotta
an
say
NTP. Oh,
that.
okay.
I mean, you
No,
ain't
I
got to
mean,
say that, but
I
whatever.
like to be transparent, right?
Okay, so Mohammed believes that he is an ISTP. I have him as an ENTP, but whatever, bro. It's your type. I don't care.
Yeah. And you don't care about my type?
Nah, you. What I'm saying is like
You don't
what
care
your
about
type
me?
is does not affect what I have to do with my life or your life or anything like that. Like that's your
Exactly.
journey of your life. Whatever your type is, whatever your life is, that's your journey of your life. If you are an
Letters, yeah,
ISTP or an ENTP, you're going on your own journey to discover yourself and fix yourself. So that's what
yeah.
I'm saying.
And
And that's none of my business.
so,
You know what I'm saying? Like that's none of my business.
yeah, yeah. So we went on a little tangent there. I just thought we need to tell you so you just know what's happening at the um,
Mhm.
uh, moment. Like for me, as coming back to the example, for me as an STP, not being pragmatic is impossible. I cannot not be pragmatic. Being
Mhm.
pragmatic is the only way I know to life. And I haven't, you know, recognized the qualities in each and every types yet.
Mhm.
Like haven't seen it with my own eyes yet.
Mhm.
But on the paper, I can tell you which one is which. But it's very, very beautiful when you see it for yourself. For example, I was looking at someone who I think is an NTJ. I think he's an INTJ, Marlon Brando, and he's super direct. Like he gives a new meaning to being direct and real, and same with all the ntjs. I think that is, I mean, after seeing him, I kind of remembered all the people that were kind of like him and exactly had the ntj vibe to them too. So um yeah, that's basically it. I mean, you, the viewers, are the ones that have to go and kind of check it out and try it out and play with it till you get something out of it. I mean, I'm not one to give you extra information that I don't know about. I just tell you that one thing that I think that is logically consistent to another way to say it is that makes sense.
Mhm.
The emotional exploration of it, the experiments with it, all of that's on you to do.
Yeah.
Uh, every
I mean,
time that I have a new idea, I'm gonna bring it up and we're gonna talk about it.
so I mean, I
So
can't.
that's what I got. What you got, Mercer? What you want to talk about? What's your
Um.
question? What's the debate?
So I mean, I've seen some of this. Like depending on the type, sometimes it could be a little different. Like because NTJs are direct and abstract, they can come off sometimes not as clear direct as a STP because a STP is direct and concrete. So like their vocabulary is a lot easier to digest. I can see why you would say NTJs can be very direct because they got the NI and the TE. The NI is always refining things down, and TE just wants to get to the point. It wants to get to the point. Um, so I can see exactly that. I can say that SFPs I have noticed to be the most interest based. Like I was talking to an ESFP girl last night, and it was just like me and Kyle, we laugh. We call it disgusting interest because it's just so like in your face, like exactly what the hell she's getting out of it, or she's only like calling me when she needs me to do something for her, or she's only calling me like it's hilarious. Like she's not calling me to just like check up and say, "Hey, Mercer, can you get me here?" It's like, "Fuck you, get the fuck out of here." That's why I call it disgusting interest. But you will generally see that with the SFPs. It's like I don't remember, like the other night, the girl was like, one of the ISFP told Kyle, "Who's gonna buy my drinks tonight?" And I'm like, bro, that interest is so disgusting. It is flat out disgusting because it's just in your face, bro. It's like, wow. Um, when it comes to systematic, you got the STJs as being the most systematic. I could see why you would say that because you got SI, always going to go back to its safety net, like what it has always done. And you got TE, basically applying systems and stuff with TE and SI. But the reason why you have to understand the difference between a pragmatic systematic and a affiliative systematic, right? Affiliative systematic is just basically maintaining what it has, right? While a pragmatic systematic is kind of like always optimization, always trying to get faster, better, quicker. A lot of times the STJs aren't about faster, quicker, better. They're about what has worked in the past should work again, right? Your NTJs or your NTs are going to be pushing for you to make that system better and better and better. For instance, you could take Elon Musk, with his car production, as he continually took things away from the car to make the car more affordable, and to make the car better. And he's always like pushing, pushing, pushing that system. So you have to realize the difference between a pragmatic systematic and a affiliative systematic. Um, but like, I think a lot of people don't realize the combination of the two together. So like, let's say when you're talking about a SP, they're pragmatic in interest, right? Pragmatic interest. So they're thinking about what can they get out of a situation right now. It's never going to be long term. So when you think about NFJ, or NF, right? They're future focused in interest. So they're generally going to look at what's in the best for everybody. Let's try to get the interests of everybody met. So a lot of times people don't understand the differences of these. Um, like
I
for
think
instance,
what you bring up is, I think what you bring up is actually pretty interesting to think about. Like, how can, let's say functions are first degree qualities, and then sorry for the noise, by the way.
oh, yeah, I
And
mean,
functions are first degree of what you get is they're like atoms.
mhm,
Then you get these qualities or these duos like STJ, SFJ, and this duo of two functions coming together, and their qualities like direct interest that we talked about.
mhm,
So that's another layer of personality. And then what you're talking about is the next layer when you put two qualities together, like for example, what you said, systematic and pragmatic versus systematic and affiliate.
mhm.
I haven't delved into that, so I just going to keep it transparent. I don't have anything to say on that, but the idea I like.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, I think a lot of people don't realize that, and I've just noticed it a lot from like, typing people. You notice that there's a clear difference between those metrics. That's why I was saying earlier that STPs come out very direct because um, they're not really talking about the abstract world, and a lot of times the abstract world can be hard to verbalize, right? Um,
Yeah,
so that can make, if a intj is going into the extract RAM and pulling that out, that can be very hard for them to like manifest in words.
so
Wow.
let's talk about that. That's an interesting topic to talk about. Were you finished, by the way?
Oh, I wasn't done, but so like when you have your concrete types, they're just talking about the what is, the facts, the what is, sports, all that. That could come off very like blah. Like I know when I'm listening to an STP talk, um, when I'm in an interview because it's just like there's nothing else here.
Sometimes you don't.
It's like weird. Oh, it's just weird because it's just so omega concrete. Don't make me get on you, Mohammad, because if I get on you, man,
Hey, bro, that's gay. Don't talk about that. That's gay. Don't talk about that.
man, you got this guy here. But like when you notice these type of things, like people don't understand the difference between a direct progression versus informing progression. As Linda Barron says, like informing progression just likes to get involved in a progression, while as in direct progression is looking for, the process to this. They're looking to the process to the goal. They believe in if I trust the process, I'll get the results.
The
Like,
idea of progression versus outcome is an interesting one because it's not directly correlated to functions, It's correlated to if you are direct or informing, and after that, are you extroverted or introverted? You
mm,
know, it's a weird way of thinking about it. I don't understand the idea of extroverted and introverted. I just they say, first function extroverted, first function introverted. That's okay, but I don't see the point in it. Um, yeah. So, but the idea is interesting. I'm going to think about it. Let's talk about what you brought up about NTJs not being the most direct.
mhm.
And before doing that, I'm going to ask you something. You said the SFVs you think are interest based, STJs are
Very interesting.
systematic.
I
Yeah.
think they're very
And
interesting because of maybe the FI with it makes it more like what am I getting out of the situation? As an FE, a lot of times like just dealing with Christian, I know a lot of times he will try to make it a win-win for everybody. SFPs can make it a win-win for just fucking them, okay? Um, so
it's not called a win-win anymore, but they're
is
winning
what?
two times, right?
Huh?
I mean that wouldn't be a win-win situation unless it's them winning twice, right?
Who's winning twice?
The SFP.
Oh, SFP, I mean, they're okay with just fucking you over. They just they just want what they want. Like just like they're not thinking about like how you feel about something. And I think that boils down to the FI in them and not, as a
It makes them
STP.
interesting people. It
Huh?
makes them super interesting people, though.
I mean, they do, but just know, like I said, that SFP girl, she's she's if she's calling me, it's always for something. It's never just to check up on me or coming up with a plan or like, hey, I miss you or anything. It's like, hey, can you do this for me? Like, fuck you. I'm not even picking up your fucking phone call. Um, but yeah.
And yeah. Um, so the SFP, you agree. The systematic STJ, you agree. They're the most systematic. The informing NFP, did you agree with that?
The most informative types. Think about it. I mean, I could see why you would say NFP being the most informant. But you can also get the NTPs can be pretty informative as well. Um, but I could see why you would say the NFPs are a little bit more informing. Um, but
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, NTPs are also very informing, especially ENTP more than the INTP. But
well,
actually, in my
it depends.
yeah, go for it.
INTP can be very informative. I can always tell when somebody's an INTP because when they start talking, I'm losing consciousness. I'm about to get put to sleep. Like I don't know what it is about them, but whenever they start talking, you just like, what?
They, they're they're thinking out loud. They're
Mhm.
thinking out loud, and they're not thinking everyday shit. They're thinking, an idea about an idea. It's cool for them and the people that think like them. But for us, yeah, gets
I think
boring.
a lot of times the biggest thing that INTP struggle with is they forget that everybody doesn't understand what they understand, okay, and that need to use better words. Sometimes you would say just dumb yourself down because your audience
Exactly.
doesn't understand it. Like, I see that a lot with INTPs. They can't dumb themselves down. Like they talking to everybody like they have a PhD in whatever they're talking about, and it's like that's just not the case. You need to bring it down
Yeah,
to more digestible. I know people make fun of Donald Trump because Donald Trump makes things so like he talks like a third grader, but everybody
he's
understands what
smart.
and he paints a picture in people's brains. When you think about Donald Trump, what he says it paints a picture in your brain. A lot of people just
When you
that
talk
goes over
very
the.
elementary, basically what you're doing when you're talking very elementary, basically what you're doing is you're talking to all the people. When you're
Mhm.
talking that smart shit, just some people are gonna understand and they are not gonna care, most probably. So you wanna talk to as much people as you can. You know, just the fact that you're saying words doesn't mean they are understanding. You have to be simple. You have to be to the point. You know. Not hating on NTPs though. I mean, we're just saying what it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just giving an honest critique. I mean, I could critique any type honestly. If anyone asks me, it's like, Mercer, what would you critique on SFP? And I'm like, yo, fucking disgusting interest, like disgusting. It's like in your face highway robbery interest. Like, and once you know it and you see it, it's like, oh my God. Um, I joke around with my cousin that I tell him every time that every time he needs something, I feel like I'm getting like, pinned down and it's just funny to me. I just make a joke out of it, but it's like I feel like, it's a highway robbery every time.
Yeah,
Robbery,
highway robbery is a good way to put it.
highway robbery and his what you call it every time. Like when you talk about like the systematic types, I can see that you would say that STJs because they really like to stay into the same what has worked for them. They don't really
Yeah,
like to
they
switch
have a
things up.
system for everything.
They
They
don't
have
they
a
don't
system for everything.
they don't like to switch things up. It's not that they don't have a system. It's just they're so used to just doing the same thing over and over and over. And doing the same thing over and over makes them happy because it gives them stability. Because that's ultimately what an SJ is going for, is stability, right?
I mean, they are more than that. I mean, I agree. They love it. What did you say? Stability. Yeah, they
Stability.
love
That's why
stability.
that's why David Kersey calls them the guardian. Okay, because they're
Yeah,
guarding things, maintaining things, stability, right? They're not really
yeah,
going to shake things up much.
yeah.
Like
And
you will see, like I told you before, a STJ will tell you to follow the protocol 1 to 12, right? Me as an NTJ, I look at it and I just immediately look at it and I'm like, I can skip step 10, 9, 8, and 7 and be done with this in 30 minutes because my brain is always thinking optimization, quicker, faster, get it done. While they're thinking about maintaining the same stability.
STJs are great at optimizing, actually. That was what I was gonna say.
Mhm.
They're very, very good at optimizing stuff. They're great at optimizing stuff. It's not that they do the same thing every day. They perfect it every day. Every day they make it better. That's the thing with STJs.
No, I don't think that's true. I think that's actually false. Because if you actually work with SJs, you will notice the same thing that I just said, is that they will follow a system even though it is slower because it gets them the same results. As in me, I'm always thinking about I can take that off quicker, that off quicker. Are you following me? They're more into
Yeah, I
like their
understood the
main
first time you
focus of an
just
SJ is stability. You got to remember that. Like that's the heart of their core needs is stability and reliability. So they're not like if you work with them, they'll tell you why did you skip step 9? Why did you skip step 10? Like you can't do that, right? Because they want you to follow it to the T. As in like somebody like myself, it's like, okay, that can be changed. But you better shut the fuck up because you can get fired for that. So you got to be very careful. Yeah.
I think it might be the fact that types can be, they are not fixed people, right? So, for example, you might have an SCJ which is kind of shining through his type, like he's a good example of his type, and he's actually the one who's perfecting the system that they got, and they are not worried about the little steps because they understand why the little step is there, right?
Mhm.
And you got the guy who just wants the simple stability, right? There is different types of types, right? There are all kind of people in all kind of types, and I think what you're referring to is the more stereotypical MPC type of STJ. You know what I'm saying? I think STJs are shining way more than that, but the
Mhm.
stereotype kind of puts them down at that point.
Well, I mean, it's not a stereotype. It's just like it's the functions, man. It's the functions. It's the SI. SI likes to do the same thing over and over. Like it doesn't like to shake things up, and that's the reason why. Like,
So let me ask you a question. If you're an artist and
mhm.
you paint the same picture over and over again, aren't you gaining mastery on that picture, and shouldn't you be painting it better every time?
It depends. It really depends on what you're because when you do something over and over, it depends on what your goal is, right? Because if your goal is to paint this thing faster, quicker, better, whatever, then you will do that. But if you're just painting it every day just to paint it every day, maybe you may not get faster because that's not
I
your
mean, would STJs just paint to paint? I mean, I think I have STJ friends, and they do everything for a goal. They're very goal oriented people, right?
big old team.
So yeah, they like the end result, they care for that. So if there is not something in it, why should they engage in it, right? So if they're painting, they have some profit in it. They're winning something out of painting it. So obviously, if they are painting it again and again, or if they are doing their job again and again, they are going for that promotion. They are going for that better painting for a better price. Obviously, they are, perfecting their types. That's why the ones that are perfectionists in the enneagrams are STJs, or the STJs are ones, because they're perfectionists. They want to perfect a system. They just don't want to follow the system, they want to perfect it. They want to have a system of their own. Actually, in their life they have systems.
The way that you're messing up again is because you're not understanding why they're systematic. Are you following me? Like the reason they're systematic is to maintain things. So you're not understanding these affiliative systematic versus the pragmatic systematic. You're lumping it all together. So the SJ at its heart wants to keep structures together. They are the type of people that's why they have logistical intelligence, right? That's their number one thing, putting the right people in the right place at the right time. That's what they're good at, right? That is about stability, maintaining, conserving, right? The NTJs or the NTs is systematic intelligence or strategic intelligence, right? That's totally different, right? That's the
I
reason why
get
a lot
what
of
you're
people will
saying. I
say
don't see
a lot of
how
people
that
will say
opposes what I said, right?
STJs are mental management. That's why people will say that they do best at mental management. Or you'll see famous STJs like Warren Buffett. He never really changed his system ever. And he actually goes against people trying to go for the new thing. He actually tells people not to. Oh, be safe because they want stability. They want you to play safe by the railroads. The railroads will never go out of business. He doesn't want you to be betting in AI because AI can be here today and gone tomorrow, but railroads will be here forever. Do you understand what I'm saying? Are you like,
Yeah, I mean
that's
that's
the
also
difference.
true, but I mean, yeah, but again, you can have an old system and perfect it anyway. Being cautionary doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, and also
But
we
are
have
you
to be
like,
a little self
but are you like following what I'm saying when I'm talking about like the
aware. Like
ultimate
we've been talking about understanding.
the ultimate thing for the NTs is to optimize a system, right? That's their overall goal. That's not the overall goal of an SJ. It's the SJ is about conserving stability, right? It's just two different focuses. Yes, they can do it, but it's just not as natural for them as an NTJ would be. NTJ can walk in a room and be like, this can be faster, this can be faster, that can be faster, right? But that may also take away stability and safety. SJ is going to be, oh, you need to slow down there, you know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Because much about it.
Oh, you're breaking up, bro.
By the way, is my connection good? Because your voice comes in and comes out, I think.
Oh, yeah, well, your
Am I
connection.
freezing up?
Yeah,
I'm breaking up?
it was freezing up. It was freezing up. But you get my point, man.
Okay.
It's like when you look at things, it's like when you talk about interest. It's you have to look at the type and you have to look at the interest, right? Because SP interest is different than NF interest. And you can't lump them all together. You get what I'm saying? Because they're not the same. So like you can't
I,
say
I,
like someone's systematic and just say lump them all together. There's affiliative systematic and pragmatic systematic. Two different ways of looking at it. Two different goals. Like the aim of their goal is not the same.
All right, man. Do you got my voice?
Huh?
Do you
Yeah,
got my voice?
yeah, I can hear you.
Is my picture okay?
Yeah,
Uh, I thought we lost it. Okay.
yeah.
I have your voice. I have your picture.
Yeah,
And I genuinely am thinking that if we want views, we need to move on from this conversation. Like this conversation is just conflict between me and you. But to um, you know, give a response to why I don't want to argue on it is that I don't know enough on what I'm hearing, right?
yeah,
So I can make up an argument, but I don't see any point in it, right? And also, I would like to stay on the main focus of what we're talking about, because I think that's easier to digest when listened to. So kind of staying in the lines of it. At the same time, I kind of like the idea that you bring up. I said I'm interested to see how that can play out, but at the moment I haven't. So I don't have any responses. So
well, that's fine, man.
um,
That's
yeah.
fine. I mean, I got what you were saying here. So, I mean, based off your theory here, you got NTJs as direct, ENFPs as the most informative, STJ as the most systematic, um, interest as SFP, pragmatic as STP, affiliative as SFJ, um, NTP you got optimistic, and NFJ you got conservative. I guess is that correct?
Yeah, I got it as a name for now. It's just a placeholder, but I don't think it's going to be true because generally speaking, P types are more optimistic and J types are more conservative. So it's probably what do you call it? Confusion from my part of the end. It's
Yeah.
I would like to know what that can be. Like, I would like to know what it is that NTPs have and NFJs have that is total opposite each other. Also, I can tell you which types are on what side and which types are on the other side. So you and also the viewers, if you have any ideas, if you want to try them out, you can write them down right now and kind of try them out for yourself. So let me see if I can find it first of all. So with optimistic, at first I have NTPs, then I have STPs and NFPs, and at last I have STJs.
Oh, for optimistic.
With yeah,
So what
with
did you have?
conservative, I had NTPs, NFPs, STPs, and STJs.
That's conservative. You got
No,
NTP.
that was optimistic.
Oh, I was about to say that don't sound. STJ is optimistic.
I don't know. That I told you, I have no fucking idea. It's
Yeah.
just a name, it's a placeholder. You you,
Okay.
you gotta give it a name.
Yeah. I mean, I understand this is a progression for you. As over time you
Yeah,
find it. Or you just
yeah,
want to
exactly.
understand sometimes I just want to get things out of my head and out into reality. And then like I can fix it from there.
Yeah. And for conservative, we got NFJ, then SFJ and NTJ, and at last we got SFP.
Interesting. Ooh, ooh. That's interesting. Okay. I mean, that's some cool stuff.
Also, something I would like to mention is that the qualities that are just one name in the Linda-Barron system, like for example, directness is just one name, one word. But
Mhm.
when you delve into it, there is so much in it, right? For example, when you say direct and include all the direct types, it's just a word. But when you say direct and just look at the NTJs and only the NTJs, you see a new meaning, it's like a new world on its own. Like these people are living in another world. It's kind of like that. It's not that just they are direct. It's like they are real. They are just saying what they say, feeling how they feel, their emotions. You can hear them come out in their voice. which kind of makes them actually intimidating. And what's intimidating about them is that their emotions are not out there in the sense that they're vulnerable, but in the sense that they are direct, they are out there, they're open with how they are, what they want, what they're thinking. Um, for example, for the informing, the NFP, at first you get just the word that they are vague with what they say. But when you delve into the NFP types, right, you just don't go each and every informing type. You just focus on NFPs to see how informing actually is. What is it that we are calling informing? You see that it's not just about being vague with what you say. There is so much to it that we don't understand when we just narrow it down to one word. You know, it's like it's a whole mood, it's a whole vibe when you put just these peak NFP people next to each other and look at their work, their songs, their movies, all of the things that they have done, their worldviews. You see that there is a special color to it. And I think if people kind of delve into that, you know, delve into the types as, you know, first of all, you gotta accept that you're pseudoscience. Like you folk are considered pseudoscience. When you accept that and you kind of, you know, get over the fact that you are not into a real science, or at least in the world's eye, you know, you can kind of be more playful with it, you know, kind of be a little bit more easy with it and just go with the flow and explore what it is that we are talking about. You know, the Enneagram community has done a good job on this. They're thinking about types in a more astrological, colorful type of way. It's like they're, when they talk about your Enneagram, even if it's not your Enneagram, you get invested because there is so much emotion to it. There is so much color to it when they talk about it, right? With the MBTI is not like that, but it can be, it can actually kind of, some people are doing it. They're not doing the best job, but I like what they're doing. And actually, if we delve into it, like they are, like, for example, if let's say NFP is an astrological sign, something like that, and you kind of delve into the realm of the NFP like that, you can kind of start not seeing the MBTI as something that is, you know, just mental, just something that you have to think through, something that is hard to get, but something that you can just see, can just experience, you know, just hear it. If it's a song, just see it. If it's a movie, just understand it. If it's a philosophy from an NFP, and I think that's a great way to jump into the MBTI exploration instead of thinking about what is the function, what is the parent, what is the wizard, what is the king, what is the, you know, just go in it and experience the qualities based on the types that are the highest in it.
Well,
I would hope people would do that.
I would just say, you know, you learn this stuff, and the best thing you can do is to go out and see it unravel in real time. Um, when you actually deal with real people. Um, Once you get to a certain level, you can easily, you know, digest things, and you can see it play out. But don't get too caught up into your own cognitive biases, you know, because once you
Yeah,
do that,
that's a big problem actually.
yeah, yeah.
Everyone, if I understand one quality of my type wrong, I'm going to understand that quality wrong for everyone that has that quality. Like
Mhm, mhm,
one misunderstanding on my part will fuck up my worldview on a big time. Like,
mhm,
so, you know, that's why I stay off of talking about stuff that I don't know about. So, you know, I just know that I don't know about them, and me engaging them is just going to cause unnecessary confusion for
mhm,
me, for the people that are listening, for you, for everyone. It's going to be a waste of time. So I rather just talk about what we know. You know,
mhm,
I
mhm.
like that approach to life.
Yeah, and like, you know, you go out and you play with it. I play with it all the time. But like I said, all of typing is, people don't realize, but every skill boils back to the same thing, right? It's time trying to do a certain skill, right? The first 100 hours, you're gonna make the biggest gains, but at a certain time, you just got to keep putting in more and more hours, and the more you do something, the better you get. Just how it is, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and
How
lie.
long has
Hmm?
how long has the video gone on for?
I don't know, man. Probably like 30, 40 minutes. But I'm not
Uh,
gonna sit here and lie to somebody and say, like, you know, as soon as you um understand, like, the metrics that you can use them, it takes quite a bit of time. But over time you'll get better, man. Just like anything in life, man. The more you do something, the better you'll get. But yeah, we had Mohammad on today, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. He's gonna do more digging. He's gonna come back. I guess we'll have like a Mohammad bucking playlist where he comes in, and we'll see how this shit changes over time. Uh, got any
Mohammed
last words you want
fucking
to say, Mohammad?
playlist. Sounds
Huh?
good. I said Mohammed fucking playlist sounds cool. Like I would watch that. And
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, anything you gotta say before we go?
um, I hope people engage in it. I hope people enjoy it. I hope people use it and try it. I hope other people with channels, and mediums come around. People inform them about this and come around and want to talk about this, want to kind of jump into the wagon. I hope we're going to move in a direction that is going to be good for me, so I can make some money out of this pitch. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he will keep going, guys. And comment below if you agree or disagree. Any things that you find to have inconsistencies or anything, because like he says, he's trying to improve this over time. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, and I would plug myself, by the way, here, and I just say that I'm in the comments. My ID is probably in the under my face or somewhere here, and you can check out my own channel. I maybe post stuff about MBTI more if there is views, and I hope that I will, and I hope that you will be there. And yeah, that's it from my part. I'm done speaking now.
all righty, brother. That is.